So just found out that it was the Rock Island Campground. That's where they found Travis Decker's truck along with the 3 dead bodies of his daughter. So the Rock Island Campground, it says it's temporarily closed, which that's crazy. Temporarily closed. Recently just temporarily closed. Why is the Rock Island Campground temporarily closed? And he was staying there. So not really Leavenworth. I mean, that's almost like, what, 20 miles away from Leavenworth. Or, I guess, I don't know, 5 miles, 10 miles away from Leavenworth. So now I'm thinking a lot differently about where he could be. Because if that is, 5 miles away from, 7 miles, we'll say, away from Rock Island, and you could walk 20 miles a day, my God, he could be literally anywhere. He could be anywhere, okay? So if he's right there at the Rock Island, campground at first, you have a lot of trees. Even if he was just to stay along the tree line, and then do we see some more things? Well, we could see some of these island, or some of these named, you got 8 Mile Mountain, Cashmere Mountain, Harding Mountain, Cradle Mountain, Icicle Ridge, Stewart Lake campsites. Stewart Lake campsites, that's interesting. So he's right there in the middle of a whole bunch of green forest. And then these whites, is that the snow white caps, or is that like the calcium deposits? Is that more of the valley, or is that more of the peak? It kind of looks like the valley to me. And so if he could walk, let's say, 20 miles a day, I mean, he could be anywhere just within this map right here. And just to give a sense of where Washington is, right, here's the state of Washington. There's Seattle, Olympia. Let's see, Walla Walla is right there, Pullman, Spokane, Colville Reservation. So pretty much in the middle where you have a whole bunch of rural, it is scenic. Skycomish, Hallford Bearing. So the Rock Island Campground isn't in Leavenworth. It's, 7 miles outside of Leavenworth. So maybe nobody, and if it's temporarily closed, maybe nobody saw him, like, why was he over there? How was he over there? If it's temporarily closed, like, when did it become temporarily closed? And then there's just so many, Mount Stewart, Dragon Tail Peak, there's just so many places he could be at, Trout Creek Trail, Bootjack Mountain, High Chair Mountain, Black Pine, Horse Camp, Icicle Creek, Trailhead, Chatter Creek Campground, Grindstone Mountain, Cape Horn, Frosty Wild Horse, Big Jim Mountain. So let's get a picture of this guy, so that way, in case people are saying, what does he look like? They've only got 2 pictures of him, and then they have the mustache. He's got a mustache, and he's got this longer hair, which he could cut. He could cut his hair, right? So there's just one picture. These are pretty much the only 2 pictures that I've seen of him. And he's been U.S. Army and for 7 years and National Guard for 3 years, and they say he's got wilderness training. And he's been running around since Friday, 8 p.m. That's when the girls went missing. He was supposed to return them back to the mother for custody. So he's been running around for 5 or 6 days, He's been running around for 5 or 6 days. And he abandoned his truck right where the girls were found. So he abandoned his truck for some reason, did it run out of gas? Was it broken down? And then, like, what happened? Like, that's, if you're trying to get away, it would make sense to get in the truck and use the truck and try to drive as far away as possible. So I guess he could be hiding anywhere, but then I guess he could also, have committed suicide too. There was there's been a couple manhunts, for people, and then they eventually just found out that they had killed him. So there was that one in Boone National Park. Chris Dorner, I think of Chris Dorner too. But I like how the people did with Gabby Petito. It seemed like all hands were on deck. Anybody paying attention to it, you never know who's got the information, who's close to it, and who can kind of provide the key piece of information Gabby Petito, it was the people. The people were the ones that found Gabby Petito before the authorities did. And the Daniel Boone National Forest Park guy, the people found him too, and he was like right there, which is kind of crazy. He was like just 5 miles, probably not even 5 miles away from the interstate, and there was like supposedly search teams all over the place. So it's kind of crazy that just two random people that was just sort of walking close by came across him. So that would give us, the public, a little bit of closure, a little bit of comfort that you don't have this, they don't know if he's armed, but he's clearly dangerous. He could commit a crime against God, against mankind, against nature. Murdering your own kids. I mean, there's only a few animals that sometimes do that, and they only do that in circumstances that are, pretty dire. But typically species want to survive, and man is supposed to be the civilization. We're supposed to be on the top of the thing. And then God, the great spirit of ultimate goodness, they don't, don't do anything to the innocents. Don't massacre the innocents. Don't do what Israel's doing to Palestine. Don't just kill a bunch of innocent children for no apparent reason. Instead of him living forever now he's going to... Stupid, man. So that's what Travis Decker looks like. Hopefully they catch him soon.